Okay, so all but one book has come in. Now, I'm not going to show off The Last Mermaid and that other Top Cow book, the name I'm forgetting of. I forget what the name of the book was called, because those ones you've already seen. That video, you can go back into my channel and you can see it. I'll probably just end up... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to. And the reason I'm not going to have it on the end cards or have end cards at all, although I probably should put end cards in general, or link it in the description, is because on the April 1st, and yes, it will actually be April 1st. I'm not going to do anything for April 1st, April Fool's Day. Maybe I'll push to April 2nd. I don't know. But it would have been ironic if I had pre-ordered the book on Amazon. There's a book I could have pre-ordered on Amazon, and it would have come in on April 1st. I've had this, like, a trend where that happens. If I get a gift card, I will. But here's most of the books, all but one book that has come in. That, when the big purchase at the end of the month, that kind of thing. Those two books I got lucky. It was a gift card, and that was Last Mermaid, and I forget what the other book is called. It was like one of those titles where it's like, hey, add it up here. Tracker. Tracker was the other book. Tracker and The Last Mermaid were the two books I got earlier this month. So it will be 17 books total. So here are the 14 out of the 15. One book has not come in yet. But I decided I want to do this because I was going to wait till book 2 of a 3-volume series came in, because I didn't want to say book 1, book 3, book 2 will be coming in later. I wanted to wait until that book came in, and it finally did. But without further ado, let's get into the 3-volume series that is Sea Serpent's Heir. Sea Serpent's Heir book 1, book 2. See if there was any, like, I felt like there was like a blemish, but there wasn't. And even then, I didn't feel like it was a big bad blemish. And finally, book 3. So actually, it's actually called Sea Serpent's Heir book 1, Pirate's Daughter, which is written by Marguerite Scott. I'll say Marguerite. Marguerite Scott, with artwork done by Pablo Tunisia, who I think also does the colors, because you would think they would also credit the publisher, or the colorist, on the front. Yep, I was right. So this series was one of those books that Michelle Fuse gave it a good score. Irma Navilla and Trevion, and all 3 of their books I got last month. I got Everyday Hero Machine Boy, which Irma Navilla and Trevion both wrote, and Michelle Fuse did Ava's Demon. Hugely ironic, and all 3 of those are Skybound comic books along with this. So that's pretty much why I got this. And Tilly Walden too. You'll be seeing what Tilly Walden image book I got. There's only one series she's done. So if you know your stuff, you know what book it is. But yeah, this is another Skybound comic book, and I think this is the last one that I need for until there's another one that's coming out. It's Witches something or other, and it looks like a completely kiddie book, like almost like the youngest demographic that Image has ever gone for, that young. But it's the last one I need. And Super Dinosaur, which I'm really debating about whether I should get it or not. I'm kind of like, do I really need to be a completist? Like, come on now. All right, so already doing a drink break. I can just go over here because I have the iPad in a different spot. As you can maybe tell, I wonder if you guys can tell, like, if I'm like at this area or that area. From when I film, because it's usually just wherever I can put it. I like it over here better though. I have no real preference. I do want to try and film it so you can see my shelf, but the only way I can do that, I think, is by doing it on the laptop and every time I film, bringing up that chair and bringing it back downstairs to the basement. It's a chair that I use when I play video games. A very comfortable chair, if I do say so myself. It's like those chairs that you sit at for assemblies at school, but it's cushioned. So it's like that kind of chair. I would also say, like, for weddings, like that white one that everyone seems to use, but again, it's cushioned. So yeah, Sea Serpent's Heir. It was advertised on the back of when I got Ava's Demon. It was advertised on the back, and I was like, "Damn it! I wanted that one." And then book 2, for whatever reason, book 1 and 3 is 1-day shipping, but book 2, it must be a huge demand for book 2, Sea Serpent's Heir book 2, Black Wave, because you have to wait a long time for it to come in. A long time on it in Amazon standards. So it's not 1 day or 2 day. I had to wait. Let's see. I ordered it on the 21st. It is the 27th. 7 days, an entire week for that book to come in. Now I have some third-party seller books on Amazon. So I knew I had to wait for those to come in. So I was like, you know what? Makes that an easier decision. I did try and make it the most of them for Amazon. I'm kind of getting sick of the third-party sellers just because of the wait. Next month it will be all Amazon. I have to do that because I can't wait any more than 3 days at the most when I order it, because they're going away later that week. I guess like a week after I order the books. So unfortunately, not unfortunately, but that will be all Amazon. And unfortunately, that's what I was trying to say. Unfortunately, there is a pre-order. They'll have to order probably after it comes out, so it won't, technically speaking, be a pre-order. But let's keep going. And Sea Serpent's Heir book 3, Queen of Mercy. And like I do with all these books, I'm only showing the artwork for book 1. And because I've trailed on and had a little drink break, I will show the artwork again for Sea Serpent's Heir. Now this is one that seems to be right up my alley. I don't have a preference where it comes to age demographic. I just don't want to be reading a preschool comic book. I don't want to be reading Spidey, Friends, Lego, Marvel, based off the preschool TV show. I'm not going to read that. Lego Ninjago, even though it's from Image Comics and written by Trev Young, I don't think I'll ever get. Time will tell if I change my mind. Because you know what I might do? Because my cousin was into the show when he was a kid. I'll watch the show and then he can reminisce on a live stream that will totally be coming out soon. Because he's not busy at all. Now that's sarcasm. Honestly, like, with my job and only having the weekends and whenever vacations they give the kids, and thus us parents, I'm a parent at high school, I kind of am like, well, this weekend I have a bunch of movies to watch. Next weekend, I'm probably going to want to focus on finishing up the last of whatever I have left for the library books. And then vacation's coming up very soon, end of April. So it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, I kind of sort of am busy in a sense, but I would not mind sacrificing some of my time next weekend and going on a live stream with him. But whatever, time will tell. It's just like, it's been over a year. I'm itching to live stream with him again, because I really do love those live streams, and I hope he does too. Okay, so next 2 books, like I said, it was Tillie Walden's Image work, and that is Clementine, book 1 and book 2. Now this is, what was the point of this book? Come on, brain, kick in. Come on, brain. Yeah, it's gone. Written and drawn by Tillie Walden. Oh, that was what I meant to say. So I have read all of book 1 and part of book 2. I only gave up because I knew book 3 was coming in. I was going to come out this year, later this year, in the summer this year, July 8th, to be exact. Amazon's, that's what Amazon says. Other publishers, like, and then comic book stores, would be like at least 2 weeks earlier. Unless Amazon and Image make an agreement for it to come out when it's supposed to come out. But anyways, so Clementine books 1 and 2. So yeah, I read part of book 2. This is one of those, sorry, you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Those of you who are new to the channel. So these are books that my library had that are now in my PC. I like them so much that I want to put it in my personal collection. Nowadays, just anything that I can think of the library had, I'm going to buy at least one of those per month. I like that streak. But Clementine I did like. I liked book 1 enough. Not as good as The Walking Dead, obviously, which this is a spin-off. But I'm eager to check out book 3. And when book 3 comes out, I will probably read both. and then I'll read book 3, and then I'll do a review of that. Maybe if I'm lucky, before the end of that month, so before the end of July, or in the start of July, depending on whether or not I go to the comic book shop and get my own copy. I think I should start doing that, not waiting for pre-orders from Amazon, because that's such a pain in the ass, especially when the pre-order is well after all the other books have come in, you know? Alright, so anyways, and so far, no issues 1 through 6. No, these are all OGNs, otherwise known as original graphic novels. And yes, I do also find it ironic that Sea Serpent's Heir is a trilogy, and so is Clementine, and both series are Skybound Comet. And same dimensions, too. A lot of similarities. And Tilly Walden commented, did a quote for Sea Serpent's Heir, giving it praise, all that shit. So, artwork. I'm gonna make sure I was correct when I said Tilly Walden was the artist. I'm pretty sure I'm right. Yep, I was right. But this one was pretty good. When you think of this is for younger audiences than Walking Dead is, and when you put that into consideration, especially it being a 14 up book, you think Hunger Games are gonna care about more about. It's gonna be Clementine and her boyfriend try and survive, and like all that like schmaltzy shit that honestly Hunger Games probably did the best, but all those other Hunger Games knockoffs did. It's not that. It is actually pretty. It is actually pretty investing. Nothing groundbreaking, again, nowhere near as good as Robert Kirkman's The Walking Dead. But if you want something that's not so torture porny as Walking Dead can get, even I will admit that it does kind of get to the levels of torture porn that everyone else criticizes them that comic series for being. I still like it. I still really like it. And it kind of, some of it makes sense. Like, some people are gonna go crazy with the world going in kind of going over a complete change, and, you know, zombies everywhere, basically in a zombie apocalypse. So people are gonna change. People that are mild-mannered are gonna go completely crazy. But I do think some things went too far. Like, it was like, oh, new character, they have a terrible past, don't they? Oh, wow, they do. Or something really bad happens to them, worse than death. Oh, wow, how could I ever predicted that? When I was rereading The Walking Dead, there's a certain thing that happens to a certain character, and I was dreading reading through that part again because it's really like nasty. And honestly, I think that went too far. It's one of those top 10 times Walking Dead went too far. I'd probably put that at number 1. As far as the story goes, not anything behind the scenes. So yeah, it's Clementine, book 1, Tilly Walden. Written and drawn by. I wonder if Trevion did that. Oh, Shannon, Shannon Waters did Lumberjanes. I thought it was Shannon, whoever did the other book there. The one that I read recently. Marguerite Scott, Michelle Fuse. As far as, there was like Chip Zdarsky and Kelly Sue DeConnick. So obviously, as far as like image writers themselves go, like I always mention that, or just writers in general. Like if Frank Miller gives a quote to Clementine Book 3 saying it was one of the best comics of this year, I will mention that. But I wanted to mention Michelle Fuse and Trevion because of the fact that they had made their little comment talking. This video is going too long. You know what I'm talking about. They wrote books that I got last month. Alright. So then Clementine Book 2. Yeah, I'm prattling on. You gotta get going. Convert, written by John Arcudi, with artwork done by Savannah Finley, who I believe is also the colorist, ? No. So chapters 1 through 2 is colored by Gonzalo Ruggieri, and then 3 and 4 is done by Miguel Coe. Now, this one collects issues 1 through 4 of Convert by John Arcudi, who had not written anything for Image for a little while there. It was so long, in fact, that it feels like ancient times when I got Rumble, Two Moons, and The Creep. I almost want to say it was my birthday of 2023 when I first started getting nothing but Image. But no, it was August of that year, I believe. So a long time, and he comes back and does a 4-issue miniseries, and he also did an issue of Creepshow, Big Jewel Be Seeing. That's the other book that hasn't come in yet, Creepshow Volume 3. Still waiting on that to come in. He also did a story for Creepshow. A story for Creepshow. A story for Creepshow. It was issue 3 specifically of the most recent series of Volume 3. I just like, it's one of those things that infuriates me. It's because for the like Bitterroot finally came back, and at the end of the day, it's nice when I finally get the book. I'm like, hey, Bitterroot came back, so maybe it's we can finally get the concluding chapters or whatever, because it does. From what I remember, Bitterroot, the original 15-issue series, ends on a cliffhanger. So there is more that can be told, but it's just kind of annoying. It's like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm just a huge completist, and when that comes out, I'm like, oh, I maybe get a little too crazy into celebrating, like, oh, this writer has only written one thing for Image, so let's see everything else. He's like, Paul Dini is a good example. I've been getting like crazy into Paul Dini recently, like reading his Batman Heart of Hush finally, and all that other stuff, and it was just kind of a nice little novelty. He did something for Image. That's kind of cool. He also did 2 issues of like this Santa Claus book that was from Image. I just remembered about. But yeah, Convert. Like, I forgot I had bought it. Like, I was like, oh yeah, it was on a Kindle. Like, I forgot I had it. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, 1 through 4. So very, very skinny book. And this one, for whatever reason, my copy is a bit warped, and it's not as visible now because the way I have it. But the way I had it before, the pages were like super warped. Not too bad. And warped is not a bad blemish because of the fact that I have my shelves, like, the books are so tightly squeezed together that sometimes I have to pull really hard. Not too hard, not yank it or anything like that, but it takes a lot to get those books out. The reason why I do that, the graphic novels out. The reason why I do that is for books like this, so it can become less warped. This was worse than it was as you see it right now. Like, it was worse than this, I mean. Alright, so Convert. Then we have Remote Space, which is written and drawn by Cliff Rathburn. We were just talking about Walking Dead. How ironic. And this one also collects 4 issues. But clearly, each issue is longer than, or at least issue 1 is longer than the issues in Convert. Hence, this being 130 pages, according to Amazon, and Convert being 96, according to Amazon. 4-issue miniseries are always weird to me because I'm like, 5 issues, that's and sometimes that can be perfect. Anything less than that, even 1 issue less than that, just doesn't seem right, you know. And okay, fine, issue 1 is double the length, like literally double the length, so you'd still get that 5-issue miniseries, but issue 1 was just longer. But I just feel like even 5 issues is sometimes too short for a series. I think 6 issues is perfect. If you want to tell like a quick story, like, oh, these characters have to get from point A to point B before time runs out. You know, you don't really need to make that a 150 issue series. No, it can be just 6 issues because it just gets, all you want to tell is their story of getting from point A to point B. You don't need to tell everything that comes after. That can be for another series or something like that. Or if it gets greenlit for a full ongoing series, there you go. I believe Something Is Killing the Children. I know it was originally supposed to be a mini-series. I always knew that it was originally supposed to be a mini-series. But I believe that was 6 issues. And then it just got so popular that James Tynion was like, not only do I want this series to never end, but also I want at least one other spin-off that will also never end. Next up, we have Kid Cudi and Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark's magnum opus, Moon Man, Volume 1, collecting 1 through 5. Moon Man Volume 1, Ignition, collecting 1 through 5 of Moon Man, written by Kyle Higgins, Kid Cudi, and Joe Clark. Or Scott Mescudi. Scott Mescudi, Kyle Higgins, and Joe Clark are the writers. The artwork is done by Marco Locati. Colors being done by Igor Monti. This is one. So those of you who just heard me rant about being a completist are probably like, "Oh, the rest of all the Kyle Higgins books you didn't get, or you don't have yet." No, this one I made an exception. I had again. This was cheap. This was only where's the not the ISBN, but where's the price tag? This was only. Come on. I want to prove it. There it is. This was only $10. And I had $10 to spare, so I was like, you know what? Let's finally get Mood Man. Why not? This next one, I do have the issues of this series, but I decided to get the trade, because it looks better on the shelf, of Stray Dogs Dog Days. Now, this is one I forgot to review when I did my all the Image books I've read this year. Like, completely forgot about it, because I was supposed to do all the Image books I've read in 2024 as like a very huge long ass video, which this video is getting pretty long, so I gotta keep going. I gotta just see what I mean and keep going. I don't know how I forgot about that. But if you want to know how I felt about this series, I have read this entire series before, back to back. Yes, even the free comic book day issue. I really like this series. It was I didn't know much about Tony Fleecs, and it was a nice surprise. Yeah, Stray Dogs Dog Days, which collects 1 through 2 of Stray Dogs Dog Days and the free comic book day prologue. And thank God that just said you're low on battery and not out of storage. For that, I would have screamed so loud that everybody in the world would have heard it. Alright, get out of the way, book bag. I'm gonna plug this guy in. And yes, I do really hate that I never hear the ding. I don't know why I don't hear the ding. I know I'm using audio, but why don't I hear the ding? Or why can't it just say charged and then go, like, have a little, like how it says 10% of battery remaining? I don't know why I can't say charging. And then I close it, and then there you go. Maybe if I keep that notification up and I plug it in, the notification will go away because I'm charging it now. I should try that next time. And no, I don't know why I do this all the time. I'm cross-eyed, so I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at myself, but I need to remember to do this. Like this. This is how you do videos. This is how you look at your audience. That's how YouTube works. You have 1 through 2, and then the free comic book day special are collected in here. And yes, I have thought about getting my my cross-eye fixed. This fall, I will be getting it fixed. Like, I'm not waiting any longer. I'm like, get this shit. The only thing, it's an irrational worry. Here's the artwork. I'll think what the art is in a second here after I stop prattling on. But my irrational fear is that my eyesight will get worse, like way worse. Like I'll go blind because I'll mess up in the surgery room. It's an irrational fear, but that's how I am. Colorist is so I imagine Trish Forstner is the artist, but it just says by Tony Fleecs and Trish Forstner. I don't know why Image does that every now and then. They did it with Everyday Hero Machine Boy, and even if you have to be redundant and say written by blank blank and written and drawn by blank blank, it's the same names. Just do it. So I guess Trish Forstner is the artist, and maybe so is Tony Fleecs. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like his cover is done by them. Okay, so they're the artists, and Tony Fleecs is the writer. Maybe Trish Forstner is also the writer. I don't know. It's so annoying. Colored by Brad Simpson. And I'm not going over the flats and the layouts and the logo design and pre-press. If you want to know who that is, here's... I should just stuck with this. Here is the credits page. But yeah, 1 through 2, and then the free comic book day prologue. And I hope you guys didn't read too much, because it said previously on, so it's going to spoil something. I apologize for that. And here's the artwork. I know I just showed it, but I'm going to show it again. Alright, almost done. Next up, we have Knights Volumes 1 and Volume 2, which is a very, very thick Volume 2. Now, this is another one where I was just like, I don't want to wait too long for the series to come out. Like, what if it's four volumes for the series, and that month I can only spare to get 2 out of the 4 volumes, you know? I'd rather just get what's out for trades so far and leave it at that and call it a day there. That's kind of a new rule for me. I don't know if I'll keep doing that because I think there's a lot of books I kept putting off. But like next month, I may try and get what's out so far of Philadelphia and the rest of Rodney Barnes' work. Because no news on that series coming back, so I might just bite the bullet. But yes, so this is all 12 issues of this series. Volume 1 collects 1 through 6, and Volume 2 collects 7 through 12. But Volume 1, does it say Volume 1? Does it have any names for it, or it's just Volume 1? Knights Season 1, Part 1, and then Knights Volume 2 is Season 1, Part 2. But this one is already getting auctioned for a movie. I was actually surprised that so Invincible is now at the out of stock, here's some third-party sellers on Amazon. That happens every so often, just because of how popular that TV show is, and people want to read the comics now, and going the manga route of spoiling what has been released yet for the cartoon. Okay, that's what people would do. Apparently the mangas were so close, or the animes were so close to the mangas, that people who read the manga would spoil the anime for people. I don't think Invincible follows it too. From what I've heard, from what I can tell, I think it does follow it pretty well. From what I imagine, and I can tell. From what I imagine, it's probably pretty faithful. But then again, some people don't care about it being too faithful as long as the series is good. But anyways, 1 through 6 of Knights, and anyway, I already said that. Oh, who was written by and drawn by? So written by Wyatt Kennedy. And maybe also drawn by him, because I know he's an artist. No, he's not an artist. Sorry. I always get confused because of Luana Vecchio being the artist for Wyatt Kennedy's Bolero. And I always think he's the artist, and he did the artwork for Lovesick. But no, it was Luana Vecchio did the art and wrote it. Oh yeah, Luigi Forisamo, I believe, is also... There's more names here. Alright, so where's the credits page? That's starts right at the bat, right up into the series. Is it in the back? I love when I have to look. Alright, so written by Wyatt Kennedy, art is done by Luigi Formisano, and colors are done by Francesco Segala. Color assistance by Gloria Martinelli, and that's it. Because again, I don't go over at Letterer. I don't credit them. There's no reason why I don't, other than the fact that I just credit what I think is most important. And it's, what you see on the page. Yes, you also see letters on the page, but it's just one of those things. I just don't want to be saying 5,000 names. Because that will make the video very long. And some people don't care. Some people are just like, what's the book? Okay, cool. What's the other book? Okay, cool. And I don't blame those people either. It's whatever. So then no artwork for showing off volume 2. The reason why I don't do that, so I have both volumes of the series. I had all 3 volumes of Sea Serpent's Heir. The reason why I don't show the artwork, and I only show the artwork for book 1, is because just in case book 2 starts out with a gravestone of one of the characters that dies in issue 6. That's a spoiler, so I don't want to do that. Just in case that happens. And it's redundant too. Usually it's the same exact creative team, especially for the artwork. So there's no need to show off more of what is the same artist, Which is art from the same artist, in the same series. Alright, how much do we have left? 1, 2, 3 left. Alright. This video is super long. I did a lot of prattling on. What really sucks is that the video... I only have 3 books that I'm not showing off. 1 hasn't come in yet, and other 2 I already showed off. So, yeah, it's not going to be much longer than this. But I have to add at least 6 minutes to the end of this video to know how long the video should be for a complete March 2025 haul. I almost had 2023. I was 2 years off there. Alright, next book up is Retcon, Book 1, written by Matt Nixon. Not Richard Nixon, but Matt Nixon. Yes, I do spell their last name the same exact way. And yes, I also did find that funny. I imagine it's drawn by Toby Cypress, and maybe Matt Krotzer is the colorist. Oh, cool. There's no credits page whatsoever. Oh, I love that. Thanks, Image. / you write to the writers. We're just going to assume. We're going to play the assumption game. Because nowhere does it show it. It's almost the entire book is a series. And it collects 1 through 4. of retcon. This was one that I saw advertised on Image Comics' YouTube channel, and it was one of those, this is the only thing he's done for Image, so you might as well get it. And I was like, alright, fine. Next book up is one I got last minute, and that is Three Keys. One that I didn't even know was a series. And I remember seeing it was like Arclight Three Keys, and I was like, okay, that's all there is for Three Keys. And it doesn't look like that series even concluded. Like it was started out with 2 issues and got canceled. It was very confusing. When I got Arclight way back when I got it, and also when I was reading it way back when, it's a series written by Brandon. It's a guy who did King City. He's known for his weird artwork. I can't remember his last name, but that guy. Just look up Arclight, you'll find the name. In that series, I think it was originally called Three Keys Arclight. I don't know, but for the longest time, there was like Three Keys. Image Comics was like, oh yeah, that series. Brandon Graham, that was the guy. Three Keys, Brandon Graham, Arclight, whatever the fuck it was. Yeah, cool. But then I found out that there is a series called Three Keys, and here you are. But this is written and drawn by David Messina. I assume it's drawn by him. Alright. No, prologue art done by Rita Pertuccini. Okay, there's a bunch of just so many credits. So here's the super long credits page. And it looks like technically we have a co-writer, so I'm just going to do this. Lettering and design, dialogue assist by Scott Tipton and Chris Royale. Nothing wrong with that guy, but it was just kind of annoying. Okay, so created, written, drawn, and colored, but for the most part, by David Messina. So I was right. And all those dialogue assist usually means nothing. It usually just means like, hey, there's a lot of dialogue on this page, and I want to go to bed. Chris, can you just fix up the rest of this? And he does that. This one collects 1 through 5. For a pretty thick trade, so issue 1 must be very long. Or maybe the entire series is double the length. I don't know. And finally, last but not least, cause I gotta read. I gotta get my books. Not that that's like top priority. Like I want to rush through this. No, I don't want to do that. Of course, I like doing these videos, but it's just kind of like this should have been 12 minutes, and this is running on 30. But to be fair, giving 2 minutes for 14 books, that's already 26. That's already 28 minutes. But finally, last but not least, Between Two Gears, written by Natalie Nourigat, who also does the artwork. At first, according to Amazon, this was the only thing she had written. But Amazon is just being weird. They're like, these are 2 different people. No, it's the same person. What are you doing? It's weird. I don't know why they do that. But I thought at first this was like the only thing she had ever written in general, graphic novel or otherwise. But I was wrong. But hey, the other thing that she's written, at least I know off the top of my head, that I know for sure the library has. And it's not by Image, so I'm willing to buy it. Now, this one does seem kind of weird. This is one I bought off a whim. Again, it's just me being a completist with those. Only thing this guy has ever written, or girl in this case. And this was by Wonderbook. And this was used very good. You cannot tell at all. Now, Wonderbook, like I said before, a while ago, they had a weird track record with even used like new. There was a pretty bad blemish. I'm like, this is Amazon bad. What the fuck's going on here? But nothing here. Like, I can't even... If you told me this was used like new, I wouldn't bat an eye. There's a bit of scuffing here that shows on the book itself, but that's fine. That's whatever. But this is a autobiographical comic. Her last year at the University of Oregon. Perfect. I love being reminded of college. Volume 1. Alright. And Volume 1 is kind of weird because it's like, it's only pretty thick. It's going to be a Volume 2. It's going to be her adult years, official adult years, not including college. But I don't think it would be. Actually, I think the other book she's written is another autobiographical tale. It'd be kind of funny if that was technically between... What's it called again? Between Two Gears, Volume 2 was the other book she did, or it was a prologue technically, so maybe it was her high school years. I don't know what it's about, but just seemed based off the title, I can't remember right out the top of my head. It seemed like it was an autobiographical tale. I don't know, or slash memoir. I don't know, but there you have it. The last 14 of 15 books. So when Creepshow Volume 3 comes in, I will show that book off, and we'll go from there. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something. Oh yeah, so videos. I do want to do a revamp of the books I'll be reading for the next few weeks, because I have finished that first set of books, and I'm going to add 2 more. So there'll be a reason why I'm doing a revamp, more than other than just here's what's left. That will probably be uploaded maybe tomorrow. Maybe I'll film it tomorrow. It all depends on what my plans are for tomorrow. If I come right home after school or after work, that's when I'll do the video. But if I go out with coworkers after work, which I'm hoping I do, then I'll be doing that, and I probably won't gonna film when I get home. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I'll get another partially drunk, not comic haul, but that video. The books I'll be reading for the next few weeks, but I'm a little bit tipsy. I doubt I'll drink as much as I did that for that other time. But the drunk comic haul was the second drunkest I've ever been, which is good. Like watch that video and you'll be like, yeah, I can tell you're drunk, but like you're not like awful. And because no one is gonna let me get that bad. I don't have any people that are like, hey, you know, let's be dicks and see that let's get this guy drunk and have him make an ass of himself. No, none of my friends are like that. None of my family is like that. Nobody I've ever met has been like that. Thank God for that. So they saw that I was getting bad, and they had to go home. They're not having to go home. Like, you gotta get out of here, but they were leaving anyways, and I'm like, you know what, let's get you home, and instead of having you wait till the last person leaves, whatever the hell. But anyways, that, as I said, is that. This video is already 34 minutes long. Sorry, no, 36 minutes long. We're done. So yeah, we're done.